Hey, what's up, and welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noel Ruiz. I'm a designer at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning. I'm Pedro. As Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is a show where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody hanging out in the Discord chat room. We'll give some shout outs to the folks that are joining us live. If you'd like to join us in the chat rooms, you can go to discord.com and check out the Adafruit Discord channel. We have an invite code right up here in our little banner. You can go to discord.gg/Adafruit. And let's give some warm welcomes to everybody hanging out in the Discord chat room.
Good morning. Good morning. We got DJ Devin hanging out, Rosin, Andy Calloway, Jim Hendrickson, and we are also on the YouTube chat, on Facebook,
And
Periscope, Twitch, and LinkedIn.
Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started with the housekeeping. Yeah, good morning to Esther. Everybody else, we have a coupon code for everybody this morning. It is PropRocket. So if you want to get any physical goods in the Adafruit online shop, you can use coupon code PropRocket to get 10% off your total order. That only applies to all the physical goods, which is a lot of stuff. So check that out. Next up, we're going to check out the free deals. The more money you spend with Adafruit, you'll get some free stuff. Head on over to adafruit.com/free and find out all the deals. If you spend $99 or more, you're going to get this half-sized Promo Proto breadboard. That's that lovely breadboard that is great for permanently bonding all of your electronic components. We use it a lot. And if you spend $149 or more, you get the half-size Promo Proto Plus, the Adafruit KB2040. That's that lovely dev board that is great for making keyboards and all sorts of other projects, and it has lots of features. If you spend $200 or more, you get the KB2040 dev board, the Perma Proto dev board, and free ground shipping from UPS, and that's for the continental US only. And then if you spend $299 or more, you get the free ground UPS shipping, the KB2040, the half-size Perma Proto, and then a BBC Microbit V2. That's that lovely educational-based dev board that has LEDs, these cool touch pads, and a couple buttons. So check out adafruit.com/free for all the details. Next up, we're going to go to the jobs board. If you are in the market for a new gig, a new job, or if you're looking for folks to help you with your project, you could post all of that up for free on the jobs board. You can also browse through all of the available job listings, including some help that Adafruit is looking for, some employee resources assistant, and a junior bookkeeper, all in the New York area. So if you are in that area and those sound interesting to you, maybe apply for those positions.
Yes,
and
please apply.
Yeah, please apply. We need help. And that's pretty much it for the housekeeping. Again, we got a coupon code. We'll circle back to this one throughout the show. So PropRocket is the discount code, and this is going to work for the rest of the day for the next 24 hours. So there you go. That is the show intro. Trying to keep it short this time because we got a lot to cover.
Yeah, this will be kind of long, especially the assembly.
Big one.
All right, so this week's project is the LED rocket with noise generation. Should have said MP3 playback. Here it is.
Yeah.
We've been showing it off for a couple of weeks now, and here it is complete. Make sure I got it in frame here. And okay, so we got this cool like aviator style covered switch that turns it on. Oh, and it'll eat you. It has a nice little glowy LED on there. And then of course the rocket has a couple of NeoPixel rings. So we have a 12 and a 24, 16 and 24 NeoPixel rings on the inside that are illuminating. And then in a STEMMA encoder, the Rotary encoder has two functions. It can plays with the audio. And then if you push down on it, it'll switch modes. And then you have access to the brightness control, which you can kind of see there, everything being so brightly.
You can see it.
Check that out. You also have a fan, a little 5-volt fan on the bottom that has a gentle little swaying of the flames on the bottom. You can kind of see it swaying back and forth. So it gives it a nice little animation. And it's supposed to be like a night light for kids with the white MP3 playback, the white noise generation, which is actually one of, I think it's Saturn, as a Voyager flew by, it did some recordings of the audio there, and that's what's playing back. Because it is CircuitPython, you can drag and drop any of MP3 files that you want on there. So one of the popular things is like a heartbeat or like a waterfall, rain, stuff like that is what you usually hear on noise generation type lamps for kids. So you can pick anything you want on there. That's one of the things that PT and Lamar are trying to highlight. They want to be able to use their own audio on any of the kids' toys. So this is following in those steps to be able to completely customize it to your liking. On the back, we have access to USB port. And of course, we're using our lovely magnetic USB cable. So nicely plugs in just like that. And then just as easily, if you want to take it out or switch out a tip, very nice magnetic, very nice way, their use of this magnetic USB. One of the other things, if you look on the inside, all modular. So cap comes right off, just snap fits, and you can see all the components inside here. How everything is nicely sandwiched. You can see the fan right there. It's actually keeping the boards nice and cool. So a nice little advantage of that. And then the other thing that I really like is the way that I was able to mount the oval speaker onto the PropMaker itself. And then we have all the connections all routed around there, all nice and neat. So you have your switch, your encoder that's just plugged in through the STEMMA port. The NeoPixel rings are plugged into the JST 3-pin connector right there. That's right on the PropMaker. So you just make a wire to connect that together. And what else? Oh, the fan. The fan is connected through the Pico blade connector, so that easily plugs in, plugs out. And then everything is held together with screws, so nothing is glued. You can completely edit this or change it around. Lamar was saying that it's pretty subtle, the way that the flames are going in there. So you can add a bigger sized fan inside the Fusion 360 file. This whole body, it's just a curve. So you can go in there and adjust your curve and it'll edit the entire body. So that is an option if you want to go with a different style rocket. And then we're just using tissue paper for the flames here. And we're using the same type of design that are used in those fake torches that you see like at Spirit Halloween. And what else? That's pretty much it. On the inside, of course, snap fit lid here. You can see how everything is nice and neat on the inside. Got an optional battery in there that's being used as a counterweight. And then everything just the encoder and the switch rather, just press fits in and is panel mounted onto the case. We are using the DIY USB cables because they have a nice flat ribbon. Oh, I'm not even showing it. It's a nice flat ribbon with the DIY USB cables. And that's how I'm able to thread everything through. So this was definitely a lifesaver for that. And then we're using the socket USB connection on here. And we have several different flavors of all the different USBs, from HDMI in to HDMI socket to pin to jacks to like the mini HDMI socket, like USB-C. Like there's so many different types. So the reason I went with this one is because the adapter that I'm using has the USB-C on one side, and then you can plug in the magnetic tips into here. And then this just press fits onto here. And then there's like a little stop right here on the lid so that this PCB can't get pushed all the way in. And then just a snap on the side that grab onto the little triangular little
yeah,
nubs
very cool.
on the inside. So a ton of like little geometry all over the case and the rocket. I have this working. Oh, if I align that properly.
Yeah. Notch goes with the cable.
Notch. There we go. Like I was saying before, this USB. There's like a little stop so it doesn't push all the way inside. And what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, the way that the wires are channeled. So this removable little lid cover here comes right off. You can see how everything is channeled all the way through. We called it the umbilical cord.
Yeah, the umbilical.
That's what they called the rockets. I should have
been
labeling in the guide.
Yeah.
See how the USB DIY USB plug USB-C plugs right into the Feather. And everything's been held with screws. These are M2 by 6mm long screws that holds everything together. And yeah, like I was saying before, the way it counterbalances is so cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
Usually you'll have like the kit will have a fan in there too, so a little bit of swaying that happens from that too, as well as the fan that's helping the flames do a little bit of animation there. And what else can we say?
The different modes, I like that the STEMMA QT rotary encoder breakout has a built-in NeoPixel LED. So in your code, you can use that to kind of notify to give you an indicator of like what status you're in, which is really a nice way because it's like all built into that breakout. And in the code, you can add more features, more modes. Yeah, of course you have to.
Each kid wanted one, so I have to make two.
Yeah,
and then for the it was a lot easier to just build another one. So one of the things I experimented with the slit, I talked about this last week. I wanted to have like one layer where it was printing, and you could kind of see it's so bright and you can barely see. The red comes in a little bit better, but the blue does not come in at all.
Right,
so
it gets masked with that filament.
Yeah. The blue gets masked, so I went in and just added the slit back in.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the way to go. It's good to experiment with it. Oh yeah, look at that red really pops through. Oh yeah, it's very hot over that webcam.
You can't really see it on that one. But it was a nice experiment to try to see how well the lights would push through. It's only like one layer, 0.5, so I could cut this out, but I just wanted to leave it to show off how trying to hide LEDs could work if this was like a brighter filament color.
Yeah, I think in the code you can probably make it brighter. I'm not sure, but you do have that control when you are when you're doing the code. Yeah. I think you could go into the library and maybe change it. But yeah, you could definitely do some more stuff to it.
That's a good point. Okay.
Yeah, I really haven't used the rotary encoder STEMMA QT breakout, but yeah. So step back a little bit. The Feather RP2040 has that built-in STEMMA QT connector, so it makes connecting any sort of I2C sensor, in this case the rotary encoder, like just plug and play, which is really nice. And then with the PropMaker FeatherWing, we're huge fans of the PropMaker FeatherWing. We kind of are the reason why there's a PropMaker FeatherWing. It's got all the things you need to make like an advanced prop. What's kind of cool is I didn't know that you could use the RGB pins to power a 5-volt fan in this case, which is really nice. Normally it was designed for 3-watt LEDs, those really bright RGB LEDs. But hey, you're using it for Lamar came up with the idea like, hey, let's use those pins so that we don't need like an extra 5-volt boost to get the fan to work. So that PropMaker FeatherWing combined with the RP2040 Feather, like it's like the perfect combo. It also has a built-in accelerometer, which I forget about. So if like you wanted to use the accelerometer, let's say you wanted to do like a prop from a video game, like this whole build is completely adaptable. So if somebody who wanted to design their specific like kind of handheld prop, like it already has USB battery charging built into the Feather. So you literally just use the battery and now you got yourself like a prop that you can hold. And take it around with you. You can power a fan. You can have the 3-watt LEDs. You can have the accelerometer. You can have a fan. You could probably do like that like vape smoke. Like you could do so much stuff with just the PropMaker and the Feather RP2040. Yeah, don't forget the sound effects. MP3 playback is kind of difficult to do in Arduino, but with CircuitPython, you can literally drag and drop it. You can have the audio play different sounds depending on kind of like think about like the Lucio Blaster that that JP John Park did. Like that could all have been done with the combo of these two. And then you got the knob, the rotary encoder. Yeah, I'm going off the rails here with all the.
I want to highlight what DJ Devin is saying about advertising the MP3 playback, because most microcontrollers can only do wave as what the usual default is. So yeah, we should have put that on there. MP3 playback, like.
Yep. Yeah, the PropMaker does have 5-volt out. It's got 3 of those pins. The RGB pins are all 5-volt powered. Yeah. Yep. Definitely good comments there. Yeah, there's a lot to the prop.
Yeah, that's a good point from Andy Calloway too, saying that the airflow, I should have put like little holes on the top so that there's actual airflow coming through. So yeah, that is a pretty good point.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, I will try that.
Yeah, it's adaptable. I mean, you can just print out the top of the rocket or the part where the fins are.
I mean, it might be getting air from. Jump over to.
Oh yeah, let me jump to the camera. Yeah, you can see that there's still some holes there.
But I'm sure there'll be way more airflow if I had poked some holes on the top. I will definitely try that.
Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah, the other project we have, I actually have it up here, is this medieval torch.
Yeah.
I'll leave it alone, but it uses just a bigger fan. Like it really comes down to the size of the fan, and each fan actually has like an airflow rating, so you can get like one that's spec'd out to be like pumping out more air. I found that out when I created a little mini solder fume extractor. Like I went down the rabbit hole of like searching for fans on DigiKey's website, and we have one that we use for that project. But other than that, it's working pretty good. It's subtle, like you said. You see the flame moving slightly.
Oh yeah, on this one there.
Yeah,
and that would have been cool.
Code it too.
The motion sensing, so when the kid is playing with it, that jostling around that happens when you just touch it because of the way that the umbilical cord is. That would have been cool to add some additional like different sound effects or something.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Something.
Yeah, you could add a button so that when you push the button, it could do a countdown and like
maybe the third function. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, a third function. Yeah, so that's all up for the folks that are into writing code and maybe they want to modify it. They can add those features. So for starters, it's got a lot. Oh, here's a good comment on from DJ Devin. When shopping for fans, always pay attention to the CFM. That's called cubic feet per minute. And that also means it's a louder fan. There's a balance between noise and CFM. And Teth is saying, you're making me want to stick a 12-volt fan blower like a 3D printer style.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah, that
we
give you some airflow.
Yeah, Lamar suggested the fan because of how small it is, the Pico Blade connector, and because we have it in the shop. And we wanted to test out how that looked. I did like how small and compact it did make the circuit.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, how small do you want it? Yeah. Here's another one from Rosin. Lights that count down to bedtime or show that it's not time to get up yet in the morning are popular ideas too. Yeah, those are all great ideas. Yeah.
All that connected to Adafruit IO, so you can set up all that stuff on your own. Like have a different.
Yeah, we do have feathers
weekdays and weekends. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, we could swap out the Feather RP2040 for the ESP32 S2, for example. Could probably work. You got to be careful though if the pins are going to line up. I think there's there's some specific pins that the PropMaker FeatherWing need. So just check the data sheets. It's all documented there, and then you can decide whether or not you want to do Wi-Fi or if you need to add an airlift FeatherWing, for example. Yeah, all really good ideas.
All right, let's go ahead
cool.
and I guess jump into the guide. Take a look.
Yeah, let me switch over
the assembly stuff.
Do you want to drive it, or is it good if I drive it?
Oh, you can drive it.
Okay, just tell me where to click and where to scroll.
All right, so starting off, assembly or the overview page, just sort of giving you the pitch of what this project is meant to be used as. Of course, the nightlight, noise, white noise generation, PropMaker Feather RP2040, which again, I did not know that these two worked together. So that's beautiful. Unfortunately, it looks like the RP2040s are out of stock for the feathers. So hopefully those will be back soon.
Or you might have one.
Yeah. Highlighting
nice
the pink one here just because of the way the pink ones are.
Yeah, that was a special limited edition pink.
Yeah. The parts, this is just like a fraction of all the parts that you'll need. Some of the other ancillary stuff, all of the ribbon cables, the connectors, the screws. This is definitely a build.
Oh, yeah.
Crap. I should have... I'm trying to like scroll into the thinking it's my...
I know. Yeah, if you want, go ahead and take it over. That way you're way more in control, because I'm having to like...
No, just keep going, because then I have to load the site and all that. If you scroll down, you can see a lot of the parts here, and then if you keep scrolling, there's so many screws and wires and all that good stuff. But everything's all
yeah, the screws. Don't forget the screws, y'all. Yeah, we got a nice mini oval speaker, and the PropMaker FeatherWing has a pretty decent amplifier on it. I think it's the PAM8302, if I'm not mistaken, which will give you a pretty decent audio out.
The M2 screws, the metal machine screws, so you'll definitely need a couple of those, just because of the way how small the component sandwich is to have everything together. The Molex Pico connectors. There's a bunch of
JST cables.
JST
the DIY USB cables. Those are great for like all sorts of embedded projects.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff that you're going to have to DIY in terms of making the spade connectors for the aviator on and off switch. Definitely need to assemble that yourself. It just comes with spade connectors. You have to get your own wires and solder all that up.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, definitely a more advanced project, not intermediate, just because of how small the scale of all this stuff is, where you have to route all the cables and keep everything nice and tidy.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely
NeoPixel rings. You need some finesse to solder to the pins and all that.
Oh, the way you even assemble the ring holder, it's quite a...
Because they're daisy chained, correct? The 16 and the 24. Yeah. All right, well, let's get to that. Next page is the circuit diagram. You'll
definitely need to click on this to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, it looks clean here because it's not showing any of the extension cables you're going to need. So for the speaker, it's not the speaker, the fan, the switch, the NeoPixel rings, the way that's all connected. You actually have to mount this and solder it in place. So that's one of the things that makes it challenging, because you have to mount it onto the part and then route all your cables to measure them all up. But if you need the fritzing file, that is available on here as well.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Next up, Liz did a good job of doing the installation and code page for this. And you can
shout out to Liz. I can run through it real quick.
Yeah, the really important thing that she added on there was the ability for the fan to actually work with the 3-watt LED. So that is definitely needed in code.
Yep, there's an enable pin to turn on any of the high power stuff for the PropMaker FeatherWing, mainly because like when Lamar was designing it, she wanted it to not like eat up power right away. Like you want to be able to kind of do like a deep sleep thing. That was really important for the lightsaber projects. So that's why the hardware is designed to kind of need to be turned on in the code. These power pins for doing just NeoPixels and the RGB LEDs. Like you want to turn that on in the code, but that's here. enable the speaker output, and the fan pins is all here as well. So you just want to turn those on. We're using the Seesaw library so that we can control the NeoPixel that's on board the Rotary encoder STEMMA QT breakout. We're using the MP3 library from Jeff Epler, who's on the team, and the LED animation library as well. We're using Pulse here, but you can add in as many effects as you want: rainbows, chases. There's a couple other ones like Comet, so you can do some really cool, simple animations. You can string them together as well. But going back to the code here, we are just kind of setting up all of the pins for all of the different components: speaker, fan, the LEDs. Here we got the MP3 audio. Right here is where you want to make sure that if you're adding your own MP3 audio file, just make sure you change the file name. You could also do some stuff where you're like picking an MP3 folder and then like you can cycle through them. That's another option too. Here's where you want to change the number of NeoPixels. So if you're scaling this up or scaling it down, you want to adjust the number of pixels. Here's the brightness for the pixels. By default, it's 0.3. You can actually increase that if you want to have it more. And then you can change some of the colors here for the NeoPixel that's on board the Rotary encoder. So all this is nicely commented out. You can take a look at the loop here, just kind of find out how we're checking for the mode, if it's in a certain mode, using the Rotary encoder, and you can pretty much walk through it here. Yeah, there's special modes for the various NeoPixels because you are working with the NeoPixel rings and the NeoPixel from the STEMMA QT Rotary encoder. But yeah, check it out. Here's what your file system looks like for your CircuitPython drive. You want to have all the libraries. When you download this button here, the download project bundle, it saves you a lot of time because it'll grab all of the libraries and the MP3 file. Yeah, it'll just kind of grab it all. But this is a nice kind of check to make sure that your file system is all set up nicely. Here's a little bit about the MP3 file itself. It is an actual recording from NASA Saturn radio emissions, which is pretty damn cool. And then here's a breakdown of how the code's working. So how the mixer is being used for the audio, how the NeoPixels are running, how the Rotary encoder is running, and the loop when you got those two control modes. How to turn up the volume using this the Rotary encoder, how to turn up the brightness using the Rotary encoder. Super excellent breakdown. So definitely check that out. If you are a beginner, this will definitely help you out to understand exactly what the loop is doing. Alrighty, next up, 3D printing. Pedro?
All right. You are going to need a little bit of support material for the rocket bottom portion, just because of the way the tabs are set up. What's really causing that is just the way the fins are. It's because they're sort of protruding out, so you can't print it on the other side. Otherwise, you wouldn't need any supports. You'll need to
I have a question. Are those supports manually added? With the
no, those are automatically added. And then when your mouse over there, I'm just using that support blockers. So I'm using
that's what it is.
The bottom, which will be the top of the fin, because you don't need any supports there. They're all a 45-degree angle. And then the USB port opening shouldn't need any supports on that, just because of the way the bridge isn't that long. So your printer should be able to print that if you have adequate cooling.
Yeah.
And you want to use like a white translucent PLA to get the glowing effect. I have some of the support settings all listed there, so you can update that.
Cool.
And yeah, pretty easy, not too hard. Yeah. Just a lot of pieces.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the main one that you want to shout out, because everything else just kind of prints as is, but you do want to do some special support blockers on those various fins and features.
Yeah. Everything is oriented the way that I printed them, so that should be good. I think the only other thing that might need supports is the speaker mount holder, just because of the way that it rises the speaker away from the PropMaker. I saw, was it DJ? No, somebody posted, yeah, DJ Devin, the speaker, is that kind of dangerous having it accidentally plug in the battery where the speaker goes? The speaker is a different connection.
Yeah, it looks like it's the same in the circuit diagram. Yeah, but it's not. It's just the way the fritzing is laid out.
Like
it's
double the size.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna get that one wrong. Yeah,
it won't fit in there.
Yeah, and once we get to the assembly page, you'll see it.
Yeah, and the same thing with the JST connection that I'm using for the switch. It is a female, it's a socket. You can't plug that into because they're both sockets.
Got it. Yeah. No, that's clever. That's a good way to when you're assembling it. You can't do it the wrong way.
You can't.
Very good. Good things to think about. All right, let's get on over to the hard stuff.
All right, cool. So setting up, soldering your headers, you can actually get this pre-assembled, but I just wanted to use the short headers for this. So we're using the sockets on the top of the Feather, the RP2040 Feather. They solder in upwards, pointing up, and the PropMaker will have the pin headers pointing downwards. They'll lock into each other. I'm using a breadboard here to stabilize and solder this on correctly so it's nice and even or straight down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see the Pico. Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's funny because like the I guess the pin spacing is the same, but it's the solder screen. Yeah, the silk screen rather has the same outline for the JST PH connector, but the Molex connector is a little bit different and it's definitely smaller. But yeah, it says right there speaker, and it's a 4.8 ohm speaker that you should be using there. But yeah, that's pretty funny. You also got a built-in potentiometer to increase the amplifier here because it does have a built-in amp. And that's that little pot there. It says vol for volume. But yeah, it's a really nice board, the PropMaker FeatherWing. If you haven't used it yet, it's got you can just look at it. Yeah, it's got a freaking accelerometer. Like, oh yeah, duh. It's really, really nice.
I highlight in the guide too that the way you want to solder things is from the back. If you go back to that image, you can see the RGB pin sockets, whatever pins there.
Yes.
Look at how close it is to all of those little diode. Yeah, that row.
These three. Yeah.
Yeah, above that. Be super careful. Solder to the back side of that because I ruined 2 boards soldering from that side. Really? Yeah. So you want to be super careful. And what I'm doing, you see the 2 strain relief holes right there?
Oh yeah, these are strain relief holes right here.
Specifically. Yeah, so you can pop the wires through there, bend them over in onto the to the holes, and then on the back side, solder it from the back side.
Yeah. And because these are ground pins, like common ground pins, they take a little bit of extra heat and a little bit of extra time. That's just the way the ground planes are. Like it's always a little challenge to solder to those. They're not as simple to solder like the digital, like the regular GPIO pins. I found it always difficult to solder to these pins.
I ruined 2 boards.
I know it's but you learned, definitely you learned. And hey, now you documented it correctly.
While we're on the subject of the pins, DJ Devin saying he cuts longer pin headers. So yes, I ran out. So I had to use the Raspberry Pi Pico short headers, which are longer. So I was able to cut those cut them down to size to fit on the feathers. So if we're out of stock of those, the Pico Raspberry Pi Pico RP2040, the short headers for those will work on this too. You just got to cut them down. I should definitely put it in there. But yeah, that's why you're watching the shows. You get all these other nuggets I forgot to put in the guide.
Got it.
Okay, so this is just showing, a real world of what the actual connections look like instead of the fritzing. You can see here the fan plugging in through the Pico connector, the speaker. You can see there's the Pico connector for that one, Pico blade, and then the switch has a regular 2-pin and JST, PH.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the enable pin that will actually turn the power regulator off, so that way you can actually still recharge a battery when the circuit is turned off. That is super important that this PropMaker FeatherWing can do that, because a lot of time if you're using like the lipo backpack thing, like you'll be charging the battery, but the circuit will still be on. So it's really nice to have it enabled.
Turn it off, it'll turn off charging too. So it's like, oh man, I got to leave this thing on.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have like a sound effect, that's annoying while you're charging your battery. But no, the PropMaker and the Feather RP2040 use a legit enable pin that's like through the microcontroller. All right. And here you can see kind of how you did the RGB pins. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on. This is how the speaker is mounted. The little oval speaker can mount anyway. It's like universal. So you can mount it on the left or the right side, the back side, pointing up, pointing down, whichever gives you the best audio. And then on the side there is a visual leftover of when I was using the mini boost on the side, and that's where that would screw into. So if you want to use the mini boost, it will definitely cut down on the whining that you might be able to be hearing right now in the background. There's like sort of a high-pitched squealing, and that's just because of the PropMaker. It was powering a fan, all the LEDs, the switch LED. So it does gives it a little bit of stress relief on the power. If you want to go that way.
I think if you want to use the Feather M4, it has like a much higher quality DAC, and that'll reduce any noise that's introduced, because I think it's doing PWM audio for the RP2040, because it doesn't have a DAC. So that's just some things to look out for.
Yep. So that mounts on there, and the screws go in through the top or through the backside. You can see how that it's mounted there, and then the wires, you just want to coil them up all nice and neat, so that when you're plugging the socket and the pins together, none of the wires get in the way.
Okay.
Down to the fan. Don't put it together yet though, because you first need to assemble the fan mount. So it's one of the things that it's like, oh cool, how is this going to work? Oh, you just mount the fan to everything else. So the fan includes these long screws that were like the perfect size with the nut and all to hold it to the this is what's going to plug into the NeoPixel Ring, and then on top of the fan is where the feather gets mounted onto. So those just require the included screws for the feather, or I'm sorry, for the fan. And that's what that assembly will look like after you're done, the feather mount. And then after that is attached, the feather and the fan, then you can attach the PropMaker onto the feather. That's how that looks like. Next up, you will set up your LED rings. Start with a 24 to measure how long you want to dry fit this into your LED ring mount, just to see how long the cables you're going to need. And they're going to route from the back of both of the NeoPixel rings. So solder from the back, because again, same deal here. If you can look at the front of the NeoPixel ring, there's all the resistors, everything is all right there. But on the back, you have a nice clean area to solder from. That's what that looks like there. And you'll do the same thing with the 16 NeoPixel ring. You connect all those together and then attach a 3-pin JST connector, and that's what's going to plug into the PropMaker.
Right, because it has a built-in.
Yep, built-in connection for NeoPixels. So some of the NeoPixel strips do have that 3-pin connector, so we'd be able to easily, without soldering. Here, it's just because of custom sizes. Yeah, with that that thumbnail you rolled over there, once that is connected, you want to make sure that everything's plugged in. Here, I'm just showing you. Here's the battery. Here's the on and off switch. That's where the JST for the LEDs go, and then the fan Pico blade connector. That's where all of that gets connected. You want to make sure all that's connected before putting it into the bottom rocket body, because you're going to need to thread all the wires through that USB port opening. So you'll thread the wires through first, and then from the bottom, you will push that whole ring sandwich attachment through. You want to like bend on one side so that the tabs will move out of place, and then you can sort of push in at an angle, and it'll pop right through. Then you'll rotate the tabs so they all align, and then we're just going to use the M2 by 6 millimeter long screws to attach that together.
Wow. Okay.
Moving on, we're going to build our DIY USB cables. I'm using the 30 millimeter long, I'm sorry, 30 centimeter, not millimeter, 30 which is 300, you know, but they're sold as a centimeter. Sorry, I need to update that. 30 centimeter long DIY USB ribbon cable, and we're using the USB-A socket to the USB-C plug. And the first picture, I'm showing which way the little contacts plug into.
Yeah, that's handy to see visually.
Yeah, because I kept plugging it in the opposite way. I was like, oh man, these things don't work. But it's because I just plugged them in upside down.
Yeah.
And it's because it's USB-C, it doesn't matter which way, when you're actually plugging into the board, it doesn't matter which way.
Oh yeah, it's reversible.
Double-sided. Reversible, yeah.
Cool.
So
all right.
that's what I'm doing there. And then we're going to attach the umbilical port, which I'm just calling the pipe here. Flat pipe. So those, you just align the tabs to the little...
To the corresponding holes, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, it's just 3 of them. And just screw those together. Another set of M2 by 6 millimeter long screws. Those screw in together. And then thread, once all that, those wires are inserted into the pipe, you'll thread those into the case. All the big JST ports, all that should fit through there. And then you just attach that to the main case. You should have a nice attached rocket by then. And so we can move on to assembling the rotary encoder. The STEMMA rotary encoder board is just the board. So you're going to have to get the rotary encoder separately. It is listed in the product page for that. So you get the rotary encoder plus extras, I think what the product name is called. And it'll come with the the nuts and the encoder itself, and then the little cap.
Yeah,
I should have gotten like a nice like metal knurled knob for this. Dang it! But of course that has cost, but
yeah, that would increase the cost.
I mean, yeah,
people could do that. They can machine their own, do it if they're really fancy.
So the
right, but otherwise it's easy to
so identify where the NeoPixel is on the rotary encoder and align that to the slit on the case so that you can see it diffuse. Once that's hooked up, you'll connect your STEMMA QT cable to the Rotary PCB board, and then attach, just panel mount it with the included washers and the nuts. That's what that looks like.
Cool.
There. Power switch. A little bit of, again, DIY this. So you'll solder the spade connectors onto a JST socket connection. Just make it nice and short because you don't need it to be that long. You already have an extension cable that's going to plug into that. And we have the power being shared between the, I think it's like the headlamp is what they label that
LED.
pin as.
Oh, really?
On the product page for this, it shows you if you want to have the LED on while it's off, or if you want to reverse. So there's multiple ways to connect this based on when you want the light to turn on or off. And one of the ways is through code. I think the very way that I hooked this up is because I didn't know how to code it. So you can physically hook it up this way to work how you want.
Yeah, that's true. It has a built-in resistor, I'm assuming. The LED.
Yeah.
Okay, that's handy.
Yep.
One less thing to wire. Jeez.
Oh my God, yeah.
So much wiring.
Coil up all of your extension cables so they're not a mess everywhere. Should have enough
Plenty
to
of
coil
room.
it up a couple times. Now you have plenty of room for any additional things like the battery that I'm going to insert in here. Moving on, yeah.
Panel mounted.
Yep, panel mount.
Comes with the nuts and this washers.
The washers. And this is where I'm showing the USB adapter, how this press fits into that little opening there. The battery gets inserted onto the opposite side of where the USB connection goes. I'll install the magnetic USB-C tip into the adapter. So if you want to have that ability. And then the lid just match the little cutouts to where the USB port cutout is. And yeah, that should be good. Just press fit that.
Bust out your scissors and some construction paper.
Yeah, you can print out this page to have a little outline, or you can just freehand it. That's what I did with these.
Yeah, they look good.
Have some little tabs. I'm using double stick
Have the
tape
kiddo do it. Have your kid make the flames.
Again, this one's intricate, man. Like even I was.
No, that looks pretty intricate.
You got to have like dexterity to do all those curves and all that.
Yeah.
Just have the technique of how to actually cut out the larger portions and then go in and cut out the little grooves that are making up the fires.
I wonder if streamers would have a more effect.
Maybe, but at that like point, I was like, I am out of time. I can't test any.
Oh yeah,
I had to go back and do stuff.
Yep. Last minute,
I was like, no,
we're like, let's use the RGB pin. And it's like, oh, okay. Right. I
did have to go back and redo other stuff.
Okay.
And that's it.
Fair.
Pop the cap. Just press fits right on. It is tapered, so just pops in, nice. And that's pretty much it. Pop the cap on, and then you're ready for blast off.
All right.
Super cool.
It's an intense build, but with patience, and it's a good weekend project if you put the time in. But
all the parts. It takes with all the parts, it might take 2 days to print out.
Yeah, for sure.
Assemble and all that. But it is future parts that we can probably use in another prop that's going to require MP3 playback with the LEDs and 3 watt. I don't know what else we can use. The
accelerometer.
Accelerometer, definitely. Really wish we had thought of adding something for that. I mean, since it wiggles, it would have been good.
Yeah.
Oh, where am I?
You turn it upside down, it like does something else. Yeah.
Oh, hey, look. It does work upside down. The flames, anyway.
Yeah.
Is it because of the way it's hanging down? Gravity that's messing with it? I mean, it's a nice little subtle little fluttering. You can kind of
Let me see if I can. I have my torch here.
Kinda.
Yeah.
There you go.
I use the fabric. We both have our fake flames. Yeah, this is that like fabric mesh.
It's like silk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a silk. Yeah.
Kind of stays up.
We have a rocket too. Super fun. And all right. Let's see if any comments. If you want to pick up the PropMaker FeatherWing or any of the other parts and components, you can use the coupon code PropRocket and get 10% off your order. And we got a couple of comments here on the Discord.
Some good banter about. I think DJ's been saying the audio, how they translated the radio waves for the audio for the Saturn flyby. Some interesting. Nuggets there, how they translated the audio there.
Oh, and there's some suggestions here to use a ferrite core to help with noise suppression. I had not thought of that.
That's a good idea.
And streamers are a good idea as well. I think they're a good idea.
Yeah. It's one of those where I had like no time to actually go down to the Michaels or whatever.
Yeah, and get these streamers.
Actually, Brandy picked up the tissue paper like at Publix.
Oh, that's funny.
Doing grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's like grocery shopping. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Check it out. There's a PropMaker link. Very nice. And we have 3D models too of all the components of the PropMaker, the feathers, NeoPixel rings, even the speaker, I believe.
Yeah.
All good stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And
Cool.
of course, all those parts too, if you want to use it on a different project, like we were saying, you can open the Fusion 360 project and actually rip them right out of there as well.
Yeah.
What I usually do is grab like the outlines, the sketches, and import that into my design file. Or not even, I just paste it in.
Yeah. You have a link here to our playlist for Fusion 360 layer by layer. I think I have one on how I did the mounting brackets for the PropMaker FeatherWing for that lightsaber and the dark saber too. So folks can take a look at that if you want a different approach to like how to design these.
Oh, how to mount it vertically?
Specific
Yes.
Mounts.
Yeah, you actually have a holder that slides into the cylinder. So we'll be using that because Mandalorian's coming out, March 1st. What is the other stuff that we got? The Tron light cycle run coming out. So we got to do some props for that. I'm sure going to have to revisit these parts, components, and the 3D files to mount everything together probably in next week or whenever.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the project. Definitely check it out. We have about 10 minutes left, so we're going to speed round the next 2 segments.
Right into Community Makes?
I want to do...
Oh, Shop Talk. Yes, do that while
let's do Shop Talk real quick.
Yes, this is the way. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so jealous that Disneyland gets Mandalorian actor dude with Grogu, and we don't.
Aw. All right. So this is a preview. It's actually prototyping, I guess, and then we'll do Shop Talk.
This thing is so cool. Yes.
Yeah. So Liz Clark had a fun idea to use the new Feather ESP32 S2 with the Reverse TFT display to create a controller and a monitor for Octoprint. Octoprint is a way to control your 3D printer through a kind of web interface, and she's using Adafruit.io and the MQTT plugin to talk to Octoprint and display some status. So here it's connected to my printer, and it says the print is finished. So I can confirm. I can use the onboard buttons to confirm. It's using the onboard NeoPixel to do a little bit of an animation, just blinking green. Let me know that it's done. And then we're using the progress bar here. That's all done in CircuitPython. And then we have some buttons here so we can control. So here I can confirm. It tells me that the status is operational. You can do bitmaps. So here's the little Octoprint octopus. And then I can do cooldown, heat up, or reboot, which is really nice. And you can adjust that and change it as you like. But yeah, I got a little 3D printed stand for the Feather ESP32 with the Reverse TFT. And yeah, just kind of a first look at using the new Feather and a glimpse at Liz's project for this week, which she'll have a guide hopefully coming out later today. And yeah, we'll probably do a video about it, and she'll do her own video too about it. But it's really, really nice and handy to have this standalone device that gives you status updates, and you can control and cancel prints too when it's printing. So it's a really good way to kind of receive data from MQTT with Octoprint, and how to push data as well, like commands to your printer. Very, very cool. And then of course the NeoPixel for things. You could also expand it to add sound effects. I really miss my MakerBot back in 2012, where I'd get like this really nice chime, and they still can't get it. Yeah, I don't even remember what it sounds like, but
I remember there was piezo buzzers like installed in some of the printers, and they never made any audio. It's like, why do you have this buzzer in here for then?
I don't know, but now in CircuitPython you can definitely do that. And this could be scaled up to a Pi Portal or a MagTag display, e-ink display. This is just like a really small version of it using the new ESP32 Feather with the Reverse TFT. It's got USB-C and a couple buttons, so it makes it really handy for like a really small display controller.
So how giddy I am to have control of my Octoprint rig with this.
Yeah, because like sure you can control it with your computer and your browser, but let's say you're editing a video, you're rendering
in a different room.
You don't want to be you kind of run out of room. So it's really nice to have something off screen, off your desktop. That's a standalone device that's dedicated for that one thing. And you can use the NeoPixel. You can have a NeoPixel strip that can be scaled up, or any number of different things. So really, really good use. I haven't seen anybody do this before. And because it's Adafruit IO, I can be on a different computer or a different Wi-Fi network. And as long as I have my credentials all set up, I can be looking at my printer from afar. So that's that one. That's that bit. I know. The next thing we really like are
super handy.
Yeah, we really like these magnetic USB tips. So here is a little holder for these magnetic tips. The cables come with 3 tips: Lightning iOS, Micro B, and USB-C. And this cable here is the magnetic cable. So here I can now switch this out for Micro B and snap that in there, plug it in, or leave this connected to my device. It's reversible, so I can make it go this way and it still works. When you plug it in, it has this green LED. It's really nice. It's woven, so this is very flexible, and it's a nylon woven. Super awesome cable. So I'm going to take this off and plug it right into my my Feather here, and now I have it'll start booting up here. There's the IP address, and then well, it doesn't show it yet because it's connecting. There's the IP address, and it's connecting, doing some stuff, and it'll pull in that data. NeoPixel is telling me it's connecting, and then there's the status. My print is finished. I actually do have a print printing.
Yeah, we're looking at the status before the show. That looks so cool.
Yeah, I'll save that for next week. But definitely, if you want to pick up this holder, you can design your own or 3D print the one I have. It's on printables. I have a link in the show notes here. It's a really simple kind of holder. Where is it? Here it is. It's on printable. And let me share my screen. Almost there. And there it is. Yeah, so check that out if you want. And here's the cable. It comes in 2 flavors, a meter long and 2 meter long. Yeah. And then here's the design and fusion. You can change the dimensions if you want to add more or add less. I got 2 of the cables. That's why I have double my tips. And they're all magnetic, so they kind of bundle together, which is okay, but I feel like I was going to lose them. So that's why I was like, let me just make a quick little holder. They press fit in as well, so they don't fall out. They don't fall out here. They just stay intact. So they press fit. So that's a little bit of a prototyping and shop talk all in one. Moving on, community makes. I don't have the video loaded, so we either skip it or you just show it to us.
I can just show it. Yeah. So Erin made us a LED nude project with. Where am I? Do I have to share my screen? There it is. It's the heart of Te FiTi.
Yeah, it's from the movie Moana.
Cool with all the bright lights.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so she was showing how to do a resin print of this. We wanted to try it out with just regular PLA. So I'm printing this at 100 microns, and it's okay. It's pretty good. So there's an LED nude on the inside here connected to a 2032. Dang it, I forgot the number of the
you're right, 2032. It has a built-in
Yeah.
switch, so you can turn it off. Coin cell, very popular.
Yeah, so the backing that you made for this just press fits right on. And of course, the kids love this. We have had
really,
Moana
really nice.
playing on loop in the background for the past
movie.
3 weeks or something. It's like, how does she know? If the attraction over at Epcot, if that was open, the Moana water walkthrough thing, if that's open, we would have shot video in there. But maybe at the end of the year, we'll shoot a video with wearing this with Moana.
That's a great design.
I'm sure they'll be walking through there. That's hilarious. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a hey puppet or something. But yeah, this is super cool. And now all the
I actually
songs
have all right.
Make
I actually have
way.
her learn guide. It's in moderate. Oh no, it's been published. Yay! So
Yeah.
check it out. She downloaded a model from Thingiverse and brought it into Tinkercad and did the front half. She added the necklace loop, and you can download her STL remix. We also have the cover that we designed in Fusion. And what she did is a little bit different. She printed it in a resin printer. I forget which one. I think it's like the L glue printer, but it looks fantastic. It looks really
The
nice.
$100 one.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful with resin prints. They can get brittle over time.
Oh yeah.
You got to do a little bit more post processing, like
cleaning.
curating and washing it and cleaning it.
Yeah,
but she goes through all that in her video. Yeah, so you can see all that. But the electronics are pretty simple. It's just an LED noodle and that coin cell here wired directly into the pins. I think she hot glues it in place. But you could try to press fit it in if you want to redesign it. And just a shout out to the original. Well, it's actually a remix of a remix on Thingiverse. Here's the original. She needed to carve it out and added the loop, the necklace loop. Here's the original from
I want that
Thingiverse user M Kratz. Yeah, there's some glow in the dark paint here. It's in 2 halves. Here's that glow in the dark paint that you could use, Aurora, or you could use an LED noodle and have it actually light up, right? So it's up to you how you want to do it, if you're really into the prop or not. But yeah, it just got published, I think. So check it out if you want to check out that that guide. But you did the time lapse, and in PLA, it works out really well if you do 100 microns. Yep. So there you go.
Here's on the overhead. Here's what the inside of that guy looks like, even though we're already looking at it there.
Yeah.
Here it is. So nice little simple nude circuit. So that's pretty much it. It's power ground. You can hook up an external slide switch and do a little cutout on the back of the lid. So you can definitely add a slide switch to that. And then the only other thing missing is probably like some screw mounts, since there are screw mounts on the coin cell holder.
That's true.
So some additional things you can add on there. But other than that, yeah, super cool way to have a little nude.
Yeah, those noodles are you're using. Yeah, it does. It does. You're using the shorter noodle too, the 130 millimeter noodle.
Not the shortest one. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only one we had left. Otherwise, I would have used green. Do we have green?
No, I like it because you don't have to like coil it. It can just kind of
yeah. I mean, it does
there. And because it's green filament, like it lights up pretty nice.
Yeah, the color palette is
awesome. Erin's using the actual green one. You have to bundle it up.
I think we used. Wait, what? You have to bundle it up. Oh, to extend it?
No, just to fit it in, I think. You can see here in the guide, she had to coil it up.
Oh.
The short noodle actually is okay.
I thought she used the shorter one. Yeah, because this is like the perfect size for it. Like,
Yeah. And even though it's yellow, because the PLA filament is green, translucent, it actually works out pretty well. Doesn't have to be green. Yeah,
that fits.
Yeah, that's great.
And then of course, again, I'm printing it vertical. That's why you have the higher quality. So that is the tip. Instead of printing it flat, you'd get such a low resolution. You'd be able to see all of the print marks. Actually, the cap is printed.
Oh yeah, the cap really shows it. Yeah.
So this is printed upwards, and again, it's surprising because this tiny little tip is what is touching on the print bed. Everything else is like brim and then supports.
Right.
Like anything that's like 50, the angle of the degree for the support is like 50 degrees. So it has supports all over in the back and all over in the front to hold it in place. And
cool.
It's a PLA version of that.
Yep. Also, I got a 3D model of the of this coin cell. So if you want to use that in your project and get the measuring of the mounting holes, you don't need your calipers. Go ahead and download my 3D model. It's in our CAD parts repo on GitHub. And if you want to pick up the coin cell and coin cell batteries, they're in stock. You can get 10% off with our coupon code PropRocket. Also pick up those noodles too, the LED noodles.
Oh, are they back?
Yeah. The noodles? The green ones were. Just type in nudes. And you'll find out what's in stock here. We got the warm white, which is great as long as you can change the color when you have a diffuser like the 3D print. You got blue; those are in stock. Yeah, I think all of them are in stock. Pink, if you want to do pink one. These are really fantastic LED light sources for your props. So get them all.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, do I use this for like? Do we redo the Tron hoodie project with?
I know,
nude?
right? Yeah.
It's gonna be long enough. Maybe if I just do little identity discs like on the shoulders, like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough with these noodles because they're pretty high density, and you could daisy chain them together, but you need more volts, and
that's what
they get tricky to power once you get
having longer ones.
Yeah.
The factory is letting us know what is and what is not possible with length sizes of custom nude sizes.
But this is the size you used. Yeah, this is the one you used here. Yeah. Yeah. You get pretty bright.
And I love the silicone
just use
sealing
the resistor.
On it.
The grippy.
So it's got some grip, and it's definitely like some silicone or something.
All right.
They are so cool.
Okay. Well, we are pretty much out of time. Yeah. We have a ton of community makes. We're going to get to those next week, though, because next week it's just this project, which will be pretty simple. There won't be any advanced LED wiring, speakers, all that craziness.
Super
handy.
Super useful. Super handy.
Yeah, it'll be super handy. But yeah, we'll save all the community makes. We got a ton of them. It's really, really great to see everybody putting the effort into sharing that they've made a project from Adafruit. Like that makes our day. So we appreciate everybody posting those. But we will share those next week. Don't forget the coupon code is PropRocket. If you want to pick up anything in the Adafruit shop, support the show, support everybody at Adafruit, Lady Ada herself, Baby Ada, Mr. Lady Ada. We have a show tonight. Ask an Engineer and Show and Tell is going to be on tonight. I'll be hosting Show and Tell. Pedro, you'll be on too. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come on in the Discord chat room. We'll throw in the invite link so you can join our StreamYard and share your projects. We hope to see your projects and you tonight. And then after that, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is Ask an Engineer. A full hour of Lamar and Phil talking about new products, open source hardware news, sneak peeks, ion MPIs, and much, much more. That's going to do it. Thanks, everybody in the Discord, for hanging out with us. We wish everybody
really
good luck.
Comments and commentary I can't get to because I got to go eat.
Yeah, I got to use the bathroom. But thanks, everybody. Yeah. Oh, I hope, Devin, I hope you come on Show and Tell. I'd love to see your progress on that awesome case for your step switch. That thing's so badass.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everybody. We will see you later tonight and next week. But until then,
don't forget to make a great day.
Make a great day. Bye, everybody.
See you later tonight.